Hey, welcome again. This is the more detailed view of the upgrade of the JAGDPANTHER from Henglong JAGDPANTHER, however you want to say it. We had some initial problems starting off. There was a massive problem with the suspension. As you can see here, it didn't work at all. The springs were too soft, the tension was too loose. Thankfully I was rebuilding this, however if I bought this to play with straight out of the box, I'd be severely nicked. The springs just did not work at all. Even if I put them on the highest setting, which we'll see in a minute, it didn't work. We stripped the tracks off, sprockets, idlers, all that came off. Take the suspension arms off with an Allen key, so you got some holes there. You have to drill a new hole to make the spring stronger.
JAGDPANTHER by Doyle and Dienst, I think that's how you say it. And if we go here, this is the one I sort of based it on. As you see, some sort of stripy camouflage there. I'm going to try and recreate that if I can sort of find a half decent colour match or way of doing things, but I'll let you know. I'll see if I can figure that one out.
The point of this project is not to spend hundreds or buy fancy kits. The Recoil is done purely by finding some extra servos lying about that I had in the workshop. I've mounted it in the old Recoil unit, and as you can see I mounted that with a 20-year-old servo at the back for elevation. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated, but it works. Give it a spray of peroxide and we're ready to work on the chassis. The idlers kept throwing the tracks. It realised that the numbers here on the metal stopped the idlers fitting together flush, so I had to grind them off so the idler would fit flush together and stop throwing tracks. Get the wheels and idlers back on, put the TK80 board back in, and we're away. To paint, I made this little mask which goes over the wheel, give it a spray, and it protects the plastic or slash rubber black.
I don't know if you can see this, but this is the first time I've ever tried brass at soldering and photo etch for tanks. This is just scrap bits of brass we've had lying around. I'm trying to make some track hangers for the back. I'm going to try doing some periscope replacement and all sorts on this, so wish me luck.
I managed to make a wooden block holder. I made some fire extinguisher holders, hinges, bolt heads, tube holders, wrecking bars. I got quite addicted to the brass here. We've got the locking nut for the muzzle brake. I spent hours and hours and hours making brass bits, hinges, C-clamp holders. Had loads of fun. Got slightly addicted, but it's so worthwhile when you look at the final product.
I can't believe I've done all this beautiful brass work and I'm about to cover it in paint. I've kind of really enjoyed this brass thing as much as I didn't get on with it. There's something really pretty about all this brass work on it. So yeah, I can't believe I'm doing this, but let's chuck some red primer on it. Red primer. Yeah, I tell you what, it looks definitely less model-like in the red primer, but I'm a little bit sad you can't see that brass work. I suppose I'll know it's there. Yeah, so let's see what's next. We'll have a look at Dunkelgelb next and see if we get a base coat on her.
What I did here with the skirts on the side was just a bit of plastic card. I found some brass and hooks to hang them on. Nothing special. This whole project is about not spending hundreds of pounds to spend what you usually got. Even the paint here was just mixed up what I had left. Browns and greens I chucked into a bottom mixed. The airbrush itself was only £20. And it just shows you what you can do with what the stuff you got lined up. This is what I use most for doing the wheels and panel lines on the thing. It's just really easy. Give the tank a bit of gloss coat, acrylic, dab the brush on it, it just runs in all the gaps, looks fantastic, no one's going to argue with you. You get brown, you get black, you get all different colours. I quite like the black one. I used it for the pan lines on top, I used it for the wheels at the bottom. As you can see, it looks really effective. Get you some oil stains on there, get some dirt on there, and it's one of the cheapest ways I've found. You can make your own, you can buy it from Tamiya, it's not expensive. For the main body, it was a sponge, silver paint, grey paint, and a standing knife. Put some scratches in there, use the sponge technique to make it like chipping. Easy peasy, anyone can do it. Now we nerded out here, moved all the tools to the back, made some clamps from brass, just like the late G2s, if you know anything about JAGDPANTHERs. Get some grills, etch grills on there, get a working light on there. Again, they're about £4, I think that's the most expensive thing I paid other than the clarkboard for the insides. This bloke was from the spares box, chucked some fresh paint on him, he went in the top. Here we see the difference in the before and after with the suspension upgrade, the skirts, you see it sits properly. Get some decals on there, these were some off eBay, the Tiger 1 ones, I know I'll cut the numbers up. As you can see, they work really well. In total, with the upgrade you've seen with the light, the etch, decals, I spent about 40-50 quid upgrading this tank, other than the clarkboard. I eBayed all the original electronics from the tank and that paid for the clarkboard.